now that you have your whole quilt top here, I'm gonna show you the last steps that we need to do to finish it off. You're gonna have threads they're just part of life. Now that you're a quilter, your threads are gonna be on your clothes, in your hair, in your carpet, and definitely still on your quilt. When you see them, clip them, put them in the trash or whatever. But we're gonna go over how to do the finishing stitch on this. If we did the ragging or the like trimming just in here, it would fray indefinitely into the square. We wanna add a finishing stitch to make sure that that doesn't happen. Like before, I am going with a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance from the edge of the fabric into the square. And when you get to these little parts where the quilts combine or where the fabrics combine, we're gonna open it up and sew right at that little intersection of the stitches. So you're going to be sewing right on top of this and kind of sew that open. That keeps you from sewing over too many layers of fabric. That gets really bulky and inconvenient. This makes it a lot easier. One important thing to do here is you need to backstitch and go over this just a couple times to make sure that that's really secure. So I'm gonna start at this corner and just work my way around. Some quilters call this a victory lap. We do it on a lot of different kinds of quilts. This one's extra important because of the ragging, but not all of them are as important as this. And here's where I'm gonna hit my back stitch. So I'm right on top of this opening here. My needle's right on top. And I'm gonna hit my back stitch button, which is when your machine goes backwards. Once you release it, then it will go forward again. I did it pretty long on that one, so I'm not too worried about going again, but do it as many times as you want to make that feel really secure. If you want to iron this before you sew it, you can iron these pieces open, and that will just make it so you don't have to think about it when you get to this point. Now, most sewing machine models have a setting to determine if your needle lands down in the fabric when you stop or if it lands up. Right now, my default is to have it land down, and that just helps you when you're pivoting or turning to keep your quilt and your fabric in the same spot. Here we go with the threads again. I don't even know where these threads came from. Once I get to my cross, my seam that we did like very first, once I get to that on the corner, I'm gonna lift up my foot, which is the little thing that holds it all together. And that will allow me to turn my quilt. If your needle is in the down position, then it keeps it right exactly in the same spot and you'll just continue stitching. Now, if one of your edges lines up like mine did here, where the light pink was a lot longer than the checkered block, all you do is just kind of work it in. So right here, it's a true 5/8 seam, and then it's a little bit smaller while I worked here. Maybe it's a little bit wider here, but then we just keep going straight. It'll all work out in the end. So I have finished my outer line, my victory lap, and now I am done with the sewing machine portion of this quilt. So I am gonna show you how to do the cutting in a way that is gonna keep it strong and make it cute. Now listen to me carefully on this part, okay? We are gonna start by cutting into our fabric, and you need to avoid cutting into the seam or into the thread. So however far you give yourself a little limit, just don't cut into the thread. Now that being said, you will cut into the thread. Accidents happen. That's just how it's gonna go. The reason that washi tape is included in our Notions kit for this is to mark it. So when you're cutting into that and you have a spot where it looks like you might have clipped the thread, all you need to do is take a little piece of tape. This is a new roll, so it's hard to see. Okay, there we go. And have it big enough so you can see it and you'll remember where it's at. You need to go back and stitch over any part that you've cut into it. I didn't actually cut into the thread there, so that's good. But when you do, and you will, you need to go back and check and sew it. You can put it on the back or the front. Just make sure that when you're done, you check both sides to make sure you didn't miss anything. I'm gonna go all the way around the outside edge and clip it. I'm clipping about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch apart. The bigger you clip, the less raggedy it will look. So just keep that in mind for what look you're going for. My scissors got bent, so they have this really fun little squeak. I'm really sorry if anyone's offended by that because it drives me nuts. Okay, once we get to this little corner, we've got our ever-present threads. I'm gonna do 2 things. So I'm putting my scissors right in between these and cutting on that fold. So now these are in these little parts. This is why we back stitched over this, to make that stitch really good and secure. And then we're gonna cut that. So now this is in 4 pieces, this corner. Keep going all the way around the outside and do that on every seam. But when you come into this part, let's look at how we're gonna do that. So I'm just on the outside of that seam. I don't wanna get too close because that will unravel your whole quilt if you cut into that one. And I'm just gonna cut each thread or each piece, and then we're gonna stand that up so that these are together again. When you open it and sew it down, they don't want to be together anymore. So we're gonna bring them back and just keep working down and clipping. This is a really perfect activity for road trips or watching a movie. This is just really relaxing, really repetitive, and it's a really fun way to finish a quilt. So once you're all cut, which I have a little while to go, and I'm not gonna do that all in this video. Once you're all cut, you wanna throw it in the wash. Oh, here, we're gonna do this one again, because this is another intersection. This is like internal blocks. Let's look at how we're gonna do these ones. So this is not the same where you don't wanna cut in that middle, because that is where you haven't backstitched over it, and you're gonna get problems. So I am taking each layer, and I'm just cutting next to it, and I'm not messing with the seams on this one. So the seam is still very much intact, very close together. Everything else is just gonna continue on as it was. Once you're done trimming all of it, go back to your spots that you marked and stitch over it. The way you'll do that is you take this, and just like when you sewed the rows together, you're just gonna stitch a line and then back stitch over it again. Do it wider. So if your cut was like right here, go 1 inch on both sides to make sure that you're gonna fix it. And I'll show you what happens if you think you don't need to mark it. So this is the first version of this quilt that I did. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, I purposely didn't fix this one. They unravel so fast and it's like shocking. When you wash it, it really, it makes this cute little effect, but it can be hard on the seams. So make sure you mark it and go back and sew over it, or you're gonna end up with so much more work for yourself, because now I have to go back and fix this silly little hole. When you fix it, the biggest thing to watch for is just that all of your layers, all of the little pieces are on the same side, and then you're gonna sew it. If I were to sew this one right now, some of these pieces snuck around to the back. I definitely wanna trim those off before giving it away or using it. Here's another one. So I wasn't very well behaved and I didn't mark this properly. But I definitely wanna wash it and dry it before gifting it to make sure that you get all of those little pieces. And it's pretty exciting when it comes out of your dryer. Your lint track's gonna look a little crazy. So that's everything I know about how to make a flannel rag quilt. You are gonna love it, the people you give it to, or you know, if you keep it for yourself. It's really fun to keep your first quilt so that you can look back on it and see how far you've come. My first quilt was a total train wreck, and I love looking at it now because I'm like, oh, I've learned so much, but also why did I try such a complicated pattern the first time? And it's just fun. I don't know, you'll come a long ways in your journey of learning a new hobby. So this is my rag quilt, and I hope you've had fun sewing this together. I would love to see pictures. I'd love to see how it turned out. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments so that I see them and I know next time on our next tutorials what to go over. Happy quilting!